Hello, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful weekend or are having a wonderful weekend. It is cold. Let's get started with today's lesson 712. You will need a handout for today's lesson. It's a handout in the packet. So if you do not have it, I would strongly recommend going Monday to school, getting that packet, getting the handout, having that ready. Otherwise, you can print it out. It is available for you on today's lesson. Just print it out and have it ready to go. But I strongly recommend you have that before you start this lesson. Cool. You'll also need a pencil. Now, today technically is a 2-day lesson. So technically this right here should say, and you can't even read it, but it should say day 1. Okay, this is our first day. We will continue this lesson tomorrow. Okay, we are just tackling 713 and 714, A through C. That's what we're doing today. Actually, it's 712. No, 713 and 715. 715. This is 15, not 14. Don't worry about it. Okay. And you do have homework, which is just problem 17. So you do need to do problem 17. You will need some graph paper for that. So this will need to be on graph paper. Okay. Start today. Is there a relationship? Organizing data in a scatter plot. In lesson 711, you looked at single data sets such as world population. Often you do not compare, or you need to compare two measurements to answer a question or to see a connection between two types of data. For example, comparing the odometer reading of a car. By the way, odometer is kind of like the miles of a car that you drive. That's called the odometer. Okay, so comparing the odometer reading of a car to the price of a car can help determine if the two factors are related. In this lesson, you will study scatter plots, a new tool for visually presenting data as a way to relate two sets of measurements. You will be asked to analyze the data to see if you can make predictions or come up with any conclusions about the relationships you find. As you work today, focus on these 3 questions. How can I organize the data? Can I use the data to make a prediction? 4 questions, I guess. What does a point represent? And is there a connection between two variables? Okay, that's what we're going to try to answer today. Our first problem is problem 713. How much is that car? Now, as you're getting ready to buy cars, be aware that they are expensive. And depending on the type of car you get, it could be worth a lot of money. We talked about cars previously. Nate and Rick were discussing cars again. Yeah. Nate claimed that cars with low odometer readings were more expensive than cars with higher odometer readings. And again, when they say lower and higher odometer readings, here's what he meant. His evidence was that his car with 23,000 miles was worth more than Rick's cars with 31,000 miles. To investigate Nate's claim, the boys collected data from several car advertisements and found the information in the table at right. Yeah, when I bought a car a few years ago, one of the main things, two of the main things, I knew the type of car I wanted to buy, but I needed to look at the odometer, how many miles it had on it, and the price, okay? And that's something I really wanted to know, okay? Does the information in the table support Nate's claim? That is, do you believe Nate's claim that cars with lower odometer readings cost more money? So I'd like you to pause the video right now and just look at this table right here. By the way, please be aware, this number here, it doesn't mean 35 miles. It's thousands of miles. On average, just so you know, on average, people drive about 10 to 12,000 miles a year. Okay, so that just gives you an idea for how much, because some of you are thinking, holy cow, 35,000 miles is a lot. It's not that much. It's about 3 years old, okay? Even 99,000 miles. Most cars are designed to go 100 to 200. Most cars are actually designed to go like 200,000 miles before they get really bad, okay? Some cars have gone a lot more, okay? But these numbers here are in thousands of miles, and these numbers here, this is not $38. It's thousands of dollars, okay? So please pause the video and look at this table and decide, do cars with higher odometer readings have lower prices, or the other way around, okay? That cars with lower odometer readings cost more. So pause the video and analyze it. Okay, so let's see what you find. Did you agree? Well, I'm not telling. We'll find out here in just a second. Problem 715. So you should have something written for that. I'll be expecting a sentence or two saying that. And if not, pause the video, go back and write it, okay? Melissa wondered if the coordinate graph would help determine if there was a relationship in Nate's data from problem 713. So follow the directions below to create a scatter plot of the data for Melissa. Now, fortunately for you, we do actually have a handout for you. Then that's a handout that you should have right now, which already kind of set up the graph for you, okay? So it says set up a graph showing odometer reading on the x-axis and the price on the y-axis. Label equal intervals on the axis so that all the data will fit on the graph, and plot the data points. So you should have that handout already, and all you're going to do right now is fill out the data on that table, okay? So if you would please right now, please go ahead and fill out that data and see what you get. See if it does work, okay? That's what I want you to check right now. Cool. So do it. Pause the video when you are done making that scatter plot, which might take you a little bit. When you're done, go ahead and unpause the video and we'll compare it. Cool? All right, go. Okay, so hopefully you got your data. You've plotted it. The handout I was talking about, by the way, looks like this. I always have a hard time. This right here, this is a handout, and you hopefully plotted the point on this handout, okay? So you should have had that. All right. So this is roughly what your graph should look. Well, okay. No, this is roughly what your graph should look like right here. Okay. See all those points? And if you plotted them, and I know it's not exactly like yours, I just went ahead and put it on Desmo's and showed it up here. You see these points. All right. Your questions, what we're going to do right now is we're just going to do these, just these two more problems here, B and C. Got it? Describe the scatter plot. This is called a scatter plot. When you just plot points on here, it's called a scatter plot. Okay. When we work with this, we do not connect the points like this and say, oh, no, we don't do that. A scatter plot is just random points. Well, not random, but just points plotted on a graph. Describe the scatter plot you just created. What do you notice about how the points are placed on the graph? Do you see any patterns? So please write a sentence or two telling me what you noticed there, okay? And when you're done, unpause it and we'll see if we agree. Okay, so here we go. What do you notice? It does appear that as the values, the odometer readings get bigger, the price does seem to go down, doesn't it? Okay, so that's a pattern I seem to notice. So what do you notice about the points of place? The higher the odometer reading, the lower the cost. Okay? Higher the odometer reading, the lower the cost seems to be. Now it does say, letter C, place an additional point on the graph for Nate's car that has an odometer reading of 23,000 miles. Explain your strategy for deciding where to put the point, okay? Now, if you look at my graph right here, there is no point on 23,000 miles. 23, this is 20 for me, and 40, 30 would be right here, so about 23,000 would be somewhere on here. Where would you put your point on that line? And you know what? I'm not answering that because I want you tomorrow, you're going to explain your strategy of where you put your point and why you put it there. Okay, that is really important here. So I want you to think about it. Put a point somewhere where you think it'd be reasonable. How much should he charge for his car? So yeah, you're not going to put your point down here. That doesn't make sense. You're also not going to put it like right up here, like it's going to be really, really expensive. Okay, it's based on the data you see here. Where do you think you should put that point? And put it on there and explain why, just a sentence or two explaining why you put it there for 23,000 miles. Got it? All right. That is it for today. So that's all you have to do. Don't forget, you do have one homework problem you need to do, which is problem 717. And that does require some graph paper. So make sure you do it on graph paper. And we will upload a picture of your notes and 717 to today's assignment. And that's all you got. Excellent. Have a great day, and I will see you on Tuesday.